Hey Siva, can you put a full window play mode of your slides? Thank you. Hello, and welcome to Cisco Support Community Google Hangout. During our event today, our speaker will talk about the improved feature of Cisco Unified Communication Manager 10.0. My name is Chi Ming, and I'm the product manager for Cisco Support Community here at Cisco. Our expert joining me today is Siva Shemgan, a product engineer at Cisco. Siva also holds several industry certificates such as CCNA, CCNP, CCNP WISE, CCIE WISE, and Red Hat Certified Engineer. Hello, Siva. Welcome to the Hangout.
Hi.
Now, I would like to briefly outline the format for today's Hangout. Siva will start with a short presentation on Cisco UCM for the first 45 minutes. Afterwards, we will dive into the question and answer session for the remainder of the event. During our presentation, you may submit your questions on the Google Hangout event page. Please start posting your questions now to give them the best chance of being answered by our expert. Siva, let's get started now.
Sure. Thanks, Simi. Hi to everyone. My name is Shiva. Shanmugam. I work for Cisco Tech here in Bangalore. I'm here to discuss about two topics, which are routing enhancements, no interdigit timer when dialing using adjoint translation pattern, and the second one is connected party transformation mask on the gateway side. So first, I'm going to discuss about no interdigit timer when dialing using adjoint translation pattern. Here are the agendas. Purpose, changes from previous releases, overview, configuration, troubleshooting tips, and question and answers. Before 10.x, we always observe T302 interdigit timer when dialing urgent translation pattern if there are overlapping patterns at subsequent lookups in the call manager configuration pages. So there should be a provision on the call manager admin page so that the user would not observe identity while dialing an urgent translation pattern. Changes from previous releases. So in 9 till 9 there is no checkbox or no configuration parameter which will let you to configure not to observe T302 timer. Going forward, that is starting 10.x, there would be an option where it can be customized based on our needs. That means if an overlapping pattern happens, there is an option for us to check not to observe IDT timer on the subsequent hops in the configuration of call manager. So why we are why we need of this particular feature on 10.x? Here are a couple of scenarios. One, we got a translation pattern which starts with 9011 dot exclamation mark, which has urgent priority checked, prefix as 55. That goes to the route pattern which starts with 55, wherein it has non-urgent priority checked. Okay, and that's a sub gateway. What happens if a user dials this numbers which hits this translation pattern? For example, you assume a phone which dials 9011234456. This goes to translation pattern which has urgent priority, which predots 9011, then prefix 55. As soon as it prefix 55, the subsequent match would be the route pattern, which will be this, which has non-urgent priority. So what happens here? The call manager kicks in interdigit timer. So the user would observe IDT timer here. So this is the use case of scenario one, where we have seen many cases where customer runs into scenario of this kind. Second is this one. Example, you have a translation pattern with starts with 8 3x's checked urgent priority that transforms to 7 followed by 3x, wherein you have two DNs which are overlapping like this. You have 4 digits which starts with 7 102 and another DN which has 5 digits that are again 71025. So what happens when a phone dials 8102? That has a translation pattern here which has urgent priority checked, which transformed to 417102, which will again come here. Since you have two overlapping patterns, the call manager will invoke interdigit timer here once again. So here it's another use case from many of the customers. So combining scenario 1 and 2, the requirement was to have a parameter or provision for the user or administrator to configure a parameter so that the call manager would not observe interdigit timer in the subsequent hops. So we introduced a checkbox called do not wait for interdigit timeout on subsequent hops. By default, this value is set it to false. Once you check this box, the user will not observe IDT in the subsequent matches of the call manager routing decision happens. So this is the parameter which is bit long, which got included in the translation pattern page, which is this: do not wait for interdigit timeout on subsequent hops. As I said before, the default value is false. So here we are going to talk about the stickiness of the new parameter. That means what will happen if you have this parameter checked in couple of scenarios. I have a scenario here wherein the first pattern has 5xx as having urgent priority checked, which transforms to 4 3xx, and once again that new parameter is also checked, which goes to another translation that also has urgent priority checked, prefixes 339, and the new parameter is set to false, that is by default, which goes to the third pattern, which is route pattern, that has non-urgent priority, stripping predot, and nothing available over there. So what happens if a phone gets into this call flow? The user dials 5538, matching 5 XXX translation pattern that gets transformed to 4588, which matches 4xxx, that adds prefix 33, right? Then hits a route pattern, which is plus 33. So now user would not observe IDT even though 4xxx translation pattern does not set this parameter. That's because by default, if you checked in, then the subsequent hops will be ignored. That means call manager will not kick in IDT timer. Here is the troubleshooting tips. In the SDA traces, you will see dial no potential matches exist. If you set the do not wait for IDT timer parameter, right? This is how you see if you set this new parameter in the traces. So if you want to see the alternate nearby translation patterns, then change the service parameter to complexity. This is the service parameter, which is translation and alternate pattern analysis, which will let the call manager to print all the other available translation and alternate patterns for the dialed number. So, sorry, uh, forgo potential matches gets printed whenever you have urgent priority checked in the configuration pages. When you have new parameter checked in, that is, do not wait for interdigit timeout on subsequent hops, that lets the call manager to print a line called dial no potential matches exist. Let me repeat once again. If you have urgent priority checked, that lets the call manager to write forego potential matches in the SDL traces. If you have new parameter checked in, which is do not wait for interdigit timeout on subsequent hops, that will let the call manager to print dial no potential matches exist. Alright. Now let's go to transformation capability, consistency on trunks. What that means? We have incoming call party settings, which is available only on the H23 gateways and not there in the MGCP and SIP trunks. The first one, right? And the second one, connected party settings, which is available only on SIP trunks at the moment and not there on H23 and MGCP gateways. This feature enables administrator to use common schema for numbering normalization independent of the gateway trunks across different protocols. This is the another form of representation wherein currently we have incoming call party transformations only present on H23 gateway and not present on SIP trunks and MGCP gateway. Connected party settings only present on SIP trunks and not present on H23 trunks gateways and MGCP gateways. This is the letter format of the same information. So I'm skipping this slide here. Here we are covering the future of incoming called party transformations for SIP trunk. Basically, this incoming call party transformation is to modify the called party whenever the CCM receives an inbound call over SIP trunk. So whenever we get a inbound invite to call manager, we will see the call party number in the to header, and numerous transformations modifications happens on there, and after that the final transform number is used for routing the call further within call manager, right? And currently in H23 we could see this incoming call to party transformations are present for numering number numbering types, which are national, international, unknown, and subscriber. But for SIP, it does not support numbering types. Hence, only a default numbering type of unknown is only present. It will not support national, international, and subscriber. If there are no transformations applied at SIP trunk, device pool numbering type incoming called party transformation settings will be used. Note, there are no service parameters have to be configured at global level, since the gateway and the device pool parameters are more than sufficient to manipulate those incoming called party transformations for SIP trunk. This is how the new field will look like in call manager 10.x, which is exactly as we see in the H23 page of current call manager versions. So incoming called party transformations for SIP trunk at device pool. A device pool already has incoming called party settings. It was added when H23 incoming called party transformations was added. For SIP trunk, a device pool unknown numbering type settings will be used if SIP trunk settings are kept default. That means if we do not configure anything on this SIP trunk, by default, device pool settings are used. Stripping digits happens first, then prefix happens at the second place when we do these modifications. If the prefix is set to default, strip digit option is not configurable. That means you see here, right? Default. If you have the default value here, then the strip digits value will be grayed out. It will not let you to configure. So you need to modify here in order to get the option to configure over here. For example, if I want to prefix some digits, say example 1, I need to remove the default and type 1 here. That will enable me to configure some digits over here. For example, if I want to strip 3 digits, I can type 3 here. So if the administrator wants to use this page on the SIP trunk, then he has to make sure that he is unchecking this use device pool CSS page settings here. All right. So we are going to see some use cases for this incoming call party settings applied at SIP trunk level. I have two call managers connected via SIP trunk. Call manager 1, I have a route pattern like the one you see here, which is 9 followed by 6 digits, which has pre-dot discord digit and a destination pointing to another call manager. In the second call manager, I have a phone with a DN 18 followed by 4 digits that has incoming call party settings, which strips 2 digits and adds 2 digits, which are 44. And there is a transformation pattern configured, which is 44 followed by 4 digits, which gets transformed to a number which is 18 followed by 4 digits, which is nothing but your DN of a phone. So here If you see phone A of the call manager 1 dials 9 followed by 6 digits, which hits this route pattern and strips 9. The rest of the digits received on the call manager 2 over SIP trunk. Call manager 2 transforms the received digits to the other number, which is nothing but the newly transformed number. That means we are stripping the first two digits, say example left to right, the first digits, and adding the prefixed digits, that is nothing but 44. So I am stripping 88 of the received digits and adding 44, which is configured in the incoming called party settings, and it hits a transformation pattern which we configured for the CSS. So that transforms to a DN number, which is 18 followed by 4 digits, and the call routes to the DN, which is the phone on the another call manager. That ends the case 1 and case 2, which we will see the incoming call party setting applied at device pool level. I have a similar piece of configuration here. On call manager 1, I have the route pattern, which is 9 followed by 6 digits, pre-dot settings, and pointing to another call manager via subtrunk. And on the second call manager, I have a DN with 6 digits, which is 555789. And the subtrunk incoming call party settings kept at default. So that means I did not configure anything over there. And I've checked use device pool CSS equal to true. On the device pool of subtrunk pointing towards call manager 1, I'm using this configurations, that is stripping digits 3. I'm going to strip 3 digits and prefixing 3 digits, which is 555. So an example, phone A dials 9 followed by 6 digits, which is nothing but 001789, which hits the route pattern and strips 9, and the rest of the digits are sent over to another call manager over subtrunk. Call manager true transforms the number to 555789 as per strip digit and prefixing configuration. Finally, the transform number is routed and finally the call phone rings. So incoming called party transformations for MGCP. So on MGCP, we are supporting all the numbering types, which are national, international, unknown, subscriber, which are exactly as similar to H23 gateways, which we have it today. Whenever PRA or BRA setup is received at call manager, called party is present in the called party information element in the PRA messages. The incoming call party setting corresponding to that numbering type is applied to this called party present in called party information element. For example, as I said, since we are supporting all the numbering types of national, international, unknown, and subscriber, we will have different pieces of configuration for each type. So based on the numbering type, we will invoke the particular or corresponding called party settings. If there are no transformations applied at MGCP gateways, device pool settings will be used. And again, there are no additional service parameters have been configured and need to be configured on call manager. This is the new section which got added to the call manager to support this consistency across all the protocols. Here we are seeing each row for each numbering type: national, international, unknown, and subscriber. So use cases. This is for the national numbering type. I have two call managers, one with route pattern 5 followed by 6 digits having pre-dot set destination to another call manager, and another call manager I have a phone with DN 21771745. On incoming MGCP PRI on call manager, I have configured 77 as prefix and stripping digits as 2 for national numbering type. So what happens? If a phone A on call manager 1 dials 6991745, which will match the route pattern on call manager 1, which strips a pre-dot, and the rest of the digits will be sent to call manager 2. Call manager 2 transforms the receive number to 771745, which we will see here. And the transform number, the first transform number hits a transformation pattern and converts to final number, which is 21771745, which is nothing but the DN of a phone. So we route the call to the phone. This is for the next international numbering type. What happens if you have an international numbering type configured? So exactly same. Call manager invokes the corresponding numbering type and routes the call. Troubleshooting tips for incoming called party settings. Whenever incoming called party transformations are applied, following lines are gets printed. Nothing but adding digits, stripping digits, etc. So here we see the first transform number, which is nothing but after stripping and prefixing some digits. And here we will see the final transformed number, which is again nothing but one more strippings and additions. So after the called party number is modified, the transform number is sent to call setup indication message towards call control, and digit analysis is performed on the transformed number, which we will see like this. So call setup indication is sent to call control in MGCP messages, where we see the final transformed number. So the numbering type can be verified in the called party information element in incoming setup message received at call manager. Now that ends the incoming called party settings on SEP trunks and MGCP gateways. Now we are getting into connected party transformations for H23 gateways, trunks, and MGCP gateways. By default, we have it on the SIP trunks on the current versions, and this will be present across all protocols starting call manager 10.10.x. Connected party transformation is something little bit tricky because it always seen depends on the direction of the call. When I receive a call, it's an inbound. When I make a call, it's outbound. So the transformations of the connected number always depends on the direction of the call. Alright. So let's see for the inbound calls. If call is incoming to call manager, then connected party identity is modified using CSS configured under newly added connected party transformation section before sending it to outgoing connected party IE in protocol messages. Free direction happens on call manager side. Then again, connected party transformation will be used to transform final connected party on call manager. I will explain with an example. Incoming #3 trunk call from phone A lands on phone B. Using connected party CSS, we transform B's number and send it to the phone A to display. If call is transformed from phone B to phone C, then phone C's transformed number will be sent to phone A to display. So always the final called parties transformations have transformed number will be sent to the caller. Yeah. So let me repeat once again. Phone A calls phone B, then phone B trans transfers the call to phone C. So C's number will go through transformations and that will be sent to phone A to display. So that is nothing but the final connected numbers will be sent to phone A. So for outbound calls, if CUCA makes an outbound call and a redirection occurs on the call manager side, then calling party transformation CSS under outbound section at trunk will be used for transforming the final connected party on originating CUCM site before sending out to connected party, i.e. in protocol messages. Phone A calls PSTN across S23 trunk. Phone A's number is transformed using calling party transformation CSS under outbound section. Phone A transfers the call to phone B on the same call manager. B's transformed number will be sent to PSTN. Yeah. So this is the section which got added in 10.x for connected party transformation information. Here is an example which talks about connected party transformations in different conditions. I have two call managers, call manager cluster 1, call manager cluster 2. I have two phones on cluster 1 and their DNs are 181003. Another phone's DNs is 281423. For simplicity, let's consider 181 and 281 belongs to cluster 1. On cluster 2, I have two phones, phone B and phone D. Phone B's number is 182 234. Phone D is 382 111. For simplicity, let's consider like this. Phone B is nothing but 181. Phone D is 382. So phone A nothing but phone A and phone C are cluster 1. Phone B and phone D are cluster 2. Phone A is 181. Phone B is 182. Phone C is 281 and phone D is 382. Alright. And we have some transformations configured on all the numbers. Let's see one by one. Firstly, on call manager 1, we have a pattern for 181 that transforms to 888 followed by 3 digits. And the second pattern, 281 followed by 3 digits, which transforms to 999 followed by 3 digits. On call manager 2, similarly, we have two more patterns, 182 3 digits getting transformed to E164 number, which is 6144182 followed by last 3 digits, and 382 3 digits is getting transformed to 7122382 and last 3 digits, right? So here are the cases. Case 1, basic call. Phone A calls phone B over H23 trunk. That means phone A calls phone B. So what will happen? On phone A, B's transformation will be applied and its number will be sent to phone A. And on call manager 1, phone A's transformation will be applied and that number will be sent to phone B to display, which is phone A number is getting transformed to 888 followed by 3 digits, and phone B's number is transformed to 6144182 followed by last 3 digits. So let's see what they say here. So display on phone B. It will show like this from 888003 because that's a number that we could see after transformation applied. Since this is an outgoing call for call manager 1, the calling party transformation CSS settings under outbound section of trunk on CUSM 1 will be applied on phone's A number before sending to towards CUSM 2. Display on phone A, that is the E164 number, which we could see after transformation mask here on call manager. This is an incoming call for CUSM 2. The connected party transformation CSS settings on trunk 2 will be applied on phone B's number before sending to call manager 1. Okay, this is case 1. Let's see case 2. Called party transfers the call to another phone. After A and B gets connected in above scenario, B transfers the call to phone D by dialing these digits. D is registered to same call manager. So A called B and they were on call. Now B transferred the call to phone D, that is this phone. So what will happen now? Now D's transformed number will be sent to phone A to display, that is this number, which is 7122382 followed by last three digits. Yeah, we could see like display on phone A after transfer, which is the transformed number for the phone D. This number will also be transformed using connected party transformation CSS on CUSM2 before sending it to originating call manager. Okay, scenario 3, wherein calling party, that is phone A, transfers the call to another phone after A and B are connected. A transfers the call to C. Let me go back to the example slide. Earlier, we saw an example of called party transfers the call to another phone, that is phone A called B and B transferred the call to phone D. Now we are going to see another scenario wherein phone A called phone B, right? Call setup happened. After that, the calling party, which is phone A, transfers the call to phone B. So what will happen now? Phone B's transformed number, which is 999 followed by 3 digits, will be sent across to phone D for display. Yeah, display on phone B after transfer, which is exactly the transformed number of phone B. Since this is an outbound call for CUSM on, the calling party transformation CSS settings will be applied on C's number before sending it to call manager 2. Alright. Now let's talk about MGCP. Till now, we talked about connected party settings for H223 gateways and trunks. Now we are going to discuss for MGCP protocol. So we are supporting all the flavors of MGCP, which is T1 PRI, E1 PRI, BRI, FXO. Let me go one by one. We are supporting all the numbering types for T1 PRI and E1 PRI, but BRI and FXO endpoints do not support connected number information element. Hence, connected party settings is not present on those endpoints. It's a limitation from the BRI and FXO. Hence, we cannot implement connected party settings for these endpoints. For connected party transformation, CSS used for transforming the connected number depends on the direction of the call that we saw so far. If a call is incoming to call manager, then connected party's identity is modified using CSS configured under newly added connected party transformation checkbox before sending out to another before sending it to connected party, i.e. element in protocol messages. Alright. So if it's an outbound call, the redirection happens on the call manager side. Again, the final connected information will be sent in the connected party information element in protocol messages. These are the 2 points which needs to be focused. Uh, for normal flavors of MJCP, the connected party IE is sent in PRI notify messages. For QSIC, the connected party IE is sent in connect messages. I will explain you both the scenarios a little bit later on. Now, here is an example. When QSIC is enabled, the transformed connected number is sent only during H225 connect. That means after the call is answered. We will not see the transform number during ringing. That means alerting, right? But for normal flavors, this transformed number will be sent in notify messages so that the transform number can be seen while alerting happens, that is ringing happens. For an example, phone A calls phone B over H323 QSIC trunk. On trunk, connected party CSS is applied to transform B, but A will see transformed B's number only after the call is answered, not before answering. Also, if B transfers the call to C on same call manager, even then A cannot see the transformed number of C. Again, that's a limitation on the QSIC. So in this case, for the QSIC protocols, the phone A will always see the transformed number of first called party, that too after call is answered. If second redirection or third redirection happens, those numbers, that means transformed numbers, cannot be seen on phone A. It's a limitation on QSIC protocol. This limitation mentioned for H23 trunk is applicable whenever the protocol type is set to H23, I mean QSIC PRI. So here is troubleshooting tips. Please verify whether transformation pattern matching with connected number is present in the transformation CSS, which is this. This is the transformation number. As I mentioned before, for normal PRI protocols, the connected party IE post redirection is communicated using H225 notify messages. For QSIC, it is always communicated in connect message. That means the call is answered. Do verify whether connected number is received at MJCP or H23 layer from call control in call control notify request or call control alert request or call control setup response signals. So here is an example of call control notify request where you could see the transformed number. Troubleshooting tips for connected party transformation sections continued. Here we are seeing transformed number. Matching number is this, which gets transformed to the number of 999432, which has a CSS. All right, we are done with the uh, topics of no interdigit timer using adjoint translation pattern, then connected party consistency on trunks. Let me open for question and answers.
Um, Hi, Siwa. This is Chiming. So we have we don't see questions right now on the event page. So, is there anything you think that people may be interesting, like some certain questions you think that you normally receive from your audience?
Yeah, when I presented internally in TAC, I received a couple of interesting questions. One
Hmm.
is, what will happen if you configured both, right? For example, if you configured incoming call party settings on the gateway and also you check the use device pool CSS, right? So which one will take precedence? Again, this question is tricky because again, the settings will be applied based on the direction of the call. So always the last one takes the precedence. For example, if it's an incoming call, the incoming call will go through transformations at gateway at first level, then at the device pool at the second level. So the last one always gets takes the precedence over the first one. Similarly, if it is an outgoing, then the configuration at the gateway level will always takes precedence over the device pool level. Yeah, this is one of the interesting questions. Second one is, what happens if you upgrade from lower version of call manager to 10.x, wherein you have this incoming call party settings, configurations, etc. Right? In those cases, for example, if you configured incoming call party settings,
Yes.
then those configurations will not be um, set after upgrade. We will leave it to administrator to configure exclusively after upgrade. That means um, we will not check use device pool settings on the SIP trunks and MJCP trunks, which means if he wants to use the device pool configurations, then then the administrator has to come back to the gateway page and check the use device pool settings manually. That way he can use the previous configurations which he had it in the lower versions of call manager.
Okay, that's interesting. So, it any more questions or
um, any
do
any more
you
questions from my
yeah,
side?
yeah, do you run into other interesting questions? And
Any other interesting questions? Yeah,
uh
these parameters are always playable around the call direction. So if you want to play around the numbers which will be seen to outside world, then make sure that you configure right numbers so that whoever gets a call will see the right number so that they can call back you rightly. Otherwise, if you play around too much on the number, then the person who gets a call will not able to call you back. So that's another thing. In this way, you can show whatever the number you like to show to the outside callers, but that way they are unable to call you back also as well. So if it's a business criticality, make sure that you are giving the right numbers, that is full number, so that the caller will call back even if the call gets unanswered.
okay, that's cool. I saw there's a question just coming in. Um, Let me just read it out for you and also set it through chat window. So this question is, as Siva mentioned, we have incoming called party setting for each number type, such as national, etc. Do we have different transformation CSS available in the same device pool? The reason is we will treat each number type differently. From example, we strip 3 digits from international and 2 digits from national. And this question also on your chat window if you want to read
hmm
it more.
hmm Yeah, I got the question. Basically, you can configure different digits for different numbering types. For example, as you said, for nationals, you can strip 3 digits or 4 digits and add, like example, 5 digits, prefix 5 digits like 5555. For international, you do not want to strip any digits but add some digits. You can also do that. For local, if you want to strip like first 2 digits, you can also do that. So for numbering types, the corresponding number type will only kick in. So you can play around as much you can with the different numbering types of protocols. Because call manager always see the numbering type in the called party information element, and accordingly it will invoke the relevant numbering pattern.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you were just done with question. I mean, with your answer. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm done with it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. Um, and I'm just looking at it. Any questions? Yeah, we actually have Google Plus community, Cisco support Google Plus community that anyone can post their questions at our community. I just post a link there. We also on Cisco support community at cisco.com also have collaboration voice and video community that everybody can post questions there too. I just post those links there. If there is no further question, I will just suggest that we end today's session. And you can, I mean, if somebody still have questions um, after the presentation, after today's handout, you can post as a links at cisco.com or our Cisco support at community at Google+. And thank you so much, Siva, for sharing your expertise and knowledge with us. It is a very informative session. Now I would like to invite everyone at our session today to join our the Cisco support upcoming meetup about Cisco data center and cloud management on Thursday, May 8th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. It will be held at Cisco Santa Clara. Um, the sign-up URL for the event is posted on this Google Hangout event page. If you are not local in Silicon Valley, you can also go to our Google Hangout event for prepared for this meetup coming, and you can watch the live broadcast at that Google Hangout event page. Please sign up the event at your earliest convenience, and we encourage you to invite your colleagues and friends to join our Google Plus community to receive the notifications of the future events. Again, thank you everyone to join our hangout today, and you have a wonderful day. Thank you, Siva.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much to everyone.
Thanks. Bye. See you next time.